I don't know what's called in English, but you know, like the thing you wash your hands with like all the time now.
Oh, hand sanitizer.
Yeah, yeah, hand sanitizer. I took like a bottle of that because I didn't have my warrants. Just started like throwing hand sanitizers at everybody.
This is all about you, your journey in music, and we'll talk about the new record as well.
Thanks, thanks.
Cool. First off, where were you born and raised?
I was born in Iran,
Okay.
but Iran, but I came to Norway when I was like 9 months.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, so it was like 2 years in a refugee camp in Norway.
Wow.
Yeah, and then we got citizenship, and then we moved to Bærum, which is like where my studio is now. Is like 20 minutes away from Oslo.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow. So you had a. Wait, I'm curious to know. You had to live in a refugee camp. What was that
yeah.
like? Tell me about that
It's
a little bit.
it's not really that bad in Norway, because people like
Okay.
have this image like they're just like wires everywhere and like old ladies crying and kids. No, it was in Norway. It was like
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's what I picture
yeah,
when I
yeah,
think of that stuff. Okay.
yeah. It was fine. It was good memories. Just bunch of foreigners around, don't know each other's languages. I was like 2, 3 years old at
Sure.
that
Okay.
time, so I asked my mom about it. She was like, "No, we had a good time there.
Okay.
It was fun." So yeah, because people think like it's more like crazier than it actually is.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was curious to see if it was like exactly how you described it, like
Oh yeah,
wires and like, are
that was
you
just yeah, that was just the place I was in. I can't speak on like other refugee camps, so
sure, sure.
don't quote me on that.
All right, right on. So Norway now, and obviously raised the rest of your life there. What's that like?
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. I was raised in Bowden, which is like a suburb place, quiet place, just a bunch of rich kids, and yeah, it was like it was fine. It was a pretty good upbringing, and like the thing like I learned most of is like when you come to a country as a foreigner and with your family, like you kind of start from zero,
Mhm.
but all these other like rich kids that go to the same school as me and everything, like their family are wealthy and got
Well,
everything,
they
you know.
yeah they've been there forever, right?
Exactly. So like that was like the one thing like I noticed. Like I was like it was like me and maybe like 2, 3 other kids that were not white in my school almost.
Hmm. Sure.
So yeah, so it kind of like leaves a mark on you in a good and a bad way, I would say, but mostly good. Yeah, I had a good
Okay.
upbringing. I had good friends around me. Had a normal upbringing.
That's good. And
Yeah,
how did you get into music?
I always like was interested in like TV basically.
Okay.
As a kid, like uh, even at the refugee camp, like all I did was watch TV all day, movies and everything, and that's first over where I learned English, just watching movies and
Really?
yeah,
Wow. Okay. I've heard that before that people learn a different language just from watching it on TV. But how do you? That's fascinating to me because I would think that it would be hard to like distinguish what they're even saying
yeah.
to begin
I
with.
mean, like it was. I think I just like went with it for a long while. Like I'm a huge Batman fan, and I watched the Burtman Batman the '89 movie like all the time when I was young,
Uh-huh.
and just like on repeat. And I,
Okay.
I saw it like a couple of years ago, and I was like, "Oh, this is what they're saying." Like I just made up in my mind what they were saying.
That's funny.
Yeah, but slowly, just from watching TV and listening to music and all that, like it just came normally to me. And I was a huge movie geek when I was like in first, second grade, and I heard Eminem's "Lose Yourself" on the radio,
Okay.
and I became like a huge Eminem fan in second grade.
I see the poster behind you.
Yeah, yeah. I got two of those actually. I can show you the
Oh.
one as well. I'm not that much of a fan these days, but it's just like for nostalgic reasons.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. But yeah, so I just like became a huge Eminem fan and just started like digging into like his stuff, and like through that I heard of like Dr. Dre, NWA, West Coast music, East Coast, Tupac, Biggie, and all that. So just like slowly, like through the years, just like nerding it out and watching like documentaries and buying albums, and yeah,
So
that's just how.
that's how you got. That's so really you've been always into hip hop. Sounds like.
Basically, yeah, I was like the only kid in my school that liked Eminem. Like I had like a do rag in like third grade and
That's
dressed like,
awesome.
yeah, like the whitest place in Norway.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
When did you start? Do you play an instrument or just
No,
write?
no, just right. I mean, I produce like on Logic and like chop samples and program jumps, but I'm not like super hands on with keys and
Okay.
guitar and thing. Yeah, I try, but I just like give up every time and get someone that's 10 times better than me to like, can you play this?
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Well,
But
when
yeah,
did you start writing stuff?
my first song I wrote was in fifth, sixth grade.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like a talent show in my school, and I had bought the Kanye West Gold Digger single. You know, back when you could get like the single.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it came with the instrumental,
Okay.
and I rapped on that for my whole school. And the thing was like, it was my first time like writing a song, so I didn't really do a good job. Like I didn't know any structure or anything.
Of course.
I just said like the same thing for like 3 minutes throughout the whole song. And until this day, I get bullied for that song I made. Like,
Really?
yeah, like we even performed in Poland a couple of years ago for like some students, and it was like this Norwegian student that came to me like, the name of the song was Gangstermobil, which is gangster cell phone. Like when you're in the fifth, sixth grade, like it doesn't even make sense. So she came to me and said Gangstermobil. Gangster was like, oh fuck, like I can't escape this song
Oh my
at all.
gosh, that's funny.
Yeah,
And you just played it once to the school, and then
yeah,
it sounds like it was a viral smash.
it was.
I mean, if they're still talking about it, that's pretty
Yeah.
good.
So
Wow.
yeah, so that was a start, but in like 2009 or 8, I I met a guy who became good friends, and he had like a home studio set up.
Mhm.
So we just started like making some music at his place, and then a couple of months later, I got my own studio at home in my basement, and just started working like since 2008. Started writing and trying to mix my own things and everything. Yeah.
Wow. What was the first song, or was there a moment that it started really picking up for you?
It didn't pick up until like 2015,
Okay.
because we were still in school all the time, and we're like, in different groups and trying out different things, and didn't really have an identity when it came to the music
Mhm.
for a long while. So we were just like playing around. But the thing was like, we were like super productive because we saw like Lil Wayne documentaries where he's like, I'm always recording, and like, yeah, that's what
Sure.
we need to do. Yeah. And we just I remember like we just like put out like mixtapes and EPs throughout like high school,
Mhm.
and nothing really like got any attention until like we finished high school. And then it started like I went solo and could find new producers to work with and network, and from that it just started getting more easier, and I've
Okay.
worked like 10 years to become decent at what I'm doing, so I could really like know what I'm doing at this point, if you understand. Yeah.
No, no, totally. And what was like when you became solo and started going that route, was there a moment then that like, because I mean, you've done some big festivals, you've put out a bunch of records, like you've got a lot of streams on Spotify. Like, was there a moment when one of the songs took off and that kind of opened the door for you, or
Yeah, yeah,
what kind of got the ball rolling?
the thing was, I had when I was like first got solo, I had like one single I was working on, which was like a 90s type new jack swing kind of song. And through that, it was this venue in my city that had booked Onyx to do a show, which is pretty weird. The fact that Onyx came to like this small city in Norway to perform for like 300 people.
Yeah.
But I got to open up for him because I knew the people that worked there.
Oh,
And through that,
rad.
Yeah, so that was insane. So I got like attention like locally from that,
Mm-hmm.
and slowly like started doing shows like all over clubs in Oslo, and started like doing like support shows and warming up for like DJ Premiere. And
Whoa.
yeah, it was fun, and other local artists. And just through that it just build up and build up.
Okay. And just as a like a local fan base.
Yeah. Basically
Okay.
my friends like always showed up and got more like traction on like Instagram. It was like a couple of Norwegian blogs that started writing about me and got some airplay on national radio. It just started like slowly building up until we got like some showcase festivals.
Mm-hmm.
And like at that point I had done like so many shows. I was like pretty confident in my live set. So we started getting festivals after the showcase, and got like some of the songs got bigger and bigger through Spotify. And it was is this snowboarder called Stale Sandbekk. I don't know if you heard of him,
Mm-mm.
but he's like in the Olympics and everything, and he's from the same city as me, and a couple of our friends like grew up together.
Mm-hmm.
So he has like a huge fan base around the world, and he started promoting my music.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that was fun. So performed like at like X Games in Norway and all like this snowboard scene. And
That's cool.
yeah, that was insane.
That's really cool. Is that how the Colorblind song really got big? Is that the one did he like that, or
Yeah,
because that your
yeah,
first record did really well?
yeah. Thanks. Yeah, it was Colorblind and Around the Area. Those two.
Okay. So when he started to kind of promote it, it really, I'm sure, took off from there, right?
Yeah. Like people in Norway started like acknowledging me, and people like really look up to him in the snowboard scene. Like whatever he says goes. So it was like, yeah, you should book Pasha for X Games. It was like, yeah, sure, let's book him. And when he like had like his contest, he played my songs while he was like jumping around and doing crazy stuff.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
that's cool. That's really cool. And then
yeah, that was insane.
so then in 2016 is when you put out your second record, Park.
It was Park was 2018.
Oh,
2016
2018. Oh, 2016. That was the first record. 2018 was Park. Okay. What was
yeah.
Tell me about that record, and what was like a kind of a big moment for you?
In Park,
Uh-huh.
it was I put out the song Pretty Boy Bounce
Mm-hmm.
that March of 2017. Yeah. And through that song we got to perform a lot around in Norway in festivals, and became like one of the most popular songs in national radio. And
Wow.
yeah, it was insane. So that was like one of my biggest breaks. It was like the first time I got like official listing on radio, and got to go there and perform. And like the shows started to get more packed, and people knew the songs more now, and wasn't really that much of like trying to convince people who I am. People knew who I was like before they came there. So that was like, yeah.
That's huge. What a huge moment to like now you're at that like the headliner, and people know your songs. What was it like the first time you performed and people were singing your songs back to you?
That was insane. I love it. Like it's like the greatest rush ever. It's like 10 times better than sex and anything. It's like the best. It's the greatest ego boost in the world.
I'm sure. You put a record out last year too. Did that come out in the beginning of 2020 or after the world shut down?
Which one are you thinking of?
GOL.
Oh yeah. We made that in 2019.
Okay.
But we put it out in like in summer of Corona, the first summer in 2020. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you held the album?
Yeah. The whole plan for that album was to do a festival tour.
Oh.
Yeah, so everything got canceled. Like, so we pushed it back like 6 months. So like at that point, I was like, yeah, let's just put this out and start working on new stuff now, because I hate holding back songs that are done.
What were you up to when that happened? You were just planning for this tour, or?
Basically, yeah, we were just like getting gigs and confirming them and prepping up and finishing the songs. And like it was like the day this one festival in Norway was like supposed to like announce me, like it was shut down in Norway. So it's like,
Oh,
yeah,
really?
yeah. So like
Wow.
we're not
That's
getting that show this
that's
summer.
devastating, I'm sure.
It, not really, because
Huh.
like everybody's going through it, you know.
Right.
So I can't be like feel sorry for myself that I can't play any festivals when there are people out here dying, you know. So like
Right.
the
Right.
bigger problems in this world. So like if everybody's going through it, I can't feel sorry for myself.
That's a good point. Yeah. What about you now? Are you guys still pretty tightly locked up, or is there a lot going on
No,
in
no.
Norway?
Uh, I'm getting my vaccine on Friday.
Uh-huh.
So it's starting to ease up now. Like you don't need to wear a mask at stores and malls no more. Just like local like trains and buses. That's like the only place you need to wear a mask now.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
That's really good. Yeah, it's nice to see everything's kind of finally getting back to normal a little
yeah.
bit, especially
It's
like worldwide, you know what I mean?
yeah, it's scary. Like I just been sitting at home eating Ben and Jerry's and watching like Netflix. So like I'm not in shape at all. So like when the first shows are coming in, I'm like I need to like get a personal trainer or something. Or
I think everyone's kind of in that boat. It's like, well,
yeah,
we're never leaving, so we might as well just eat and watch TV.
exactly.
That's funny. Well, so do you have those shows rescheduled?
Yes, some of them and some of them just got canceled. Like some of the festivals just
All together.
yeah, just like couldn't had to go bankrupt and everything. And so it's kind of like just starting over again now. Like some shows are pushed back and some are just like not happening at all.
Okay. Have you had a chance to perform or not yet?
Yeah, I performed like some shows during like this past 2 years now, but they're mostly just like people sitting and like maximum capacity is like 100, 200 people. But
Oh, what's that like playing the people sitting in the, there's no energy or
oh,
how is it?
I bring the energy all the time. So yeah, I don't get shy at all, but it depends where I'm playing. Like if I'm playing in Oslo, which is kind of like home turf,
Uh-huh.
is always a good time. And I don't care like if people are awkward sitting, I'll make them stand up and the bouncer starts yelling at people, sit down. And
Okay.
I took like a bottle of, you know, like I don't know what's called in English, but you know, like the thing you wash your hands with like all the time now.
Oh, hand sanitizer?
Yeah, hand sanitizer. I took like a bottle of that because I didn't have my warrants. Just started like throwing hand sanitizers at
That's hilarious.
yeah. So yeah, it's a good time. But like it depends where I'm playing. I played in Bergen a couple of months ago, and like the show wasn't that like it was pushed back so many times that people didn't really get that I was playing at all, and it was
Uh-huh.
still locked down in that city. So I played for like 40 people. It was like maybe like 15, 40-year-olds, some 18-year-olds, and like some people that didn't know who I was. So it was a pretty weird show. It was just like playing at someone's birthday or something. That
Oh,
yeah,
interesting. Okay.
it depends.
Yeah, and you have some new music out now, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So, when did you start writing? Like, "You and I" is the most recent one you released. When did you start writing that song?
Last year.
Wow.
Yeah, it was here. Jimmy and Wonder the Boy was at a mall right next to the studio and called me and asked if I was at the studio. I was like, yeah, come over. I'm not doing anything special, and we just hung out for a couple of hours. And I was like, come on, guys, like we're all three are here now. Like we never been in a studio together. Let's make something. And I just found some loops on Splice and put some drums on it, and everybody like took turns and just recorded stuff. And then I just like edited and structured it and sent it to Kusharon,
Mm-hmm.
and he like made a good song out of it. And then just like through the year we just came back to like change stuff every time, like the drum sucks, or we need to do an outro. And throughout the year, and yeah, so it came out like in perfect timing when it was like super done, instead of just like forcing it and having like pressure of time. We just worked on it like slowly a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you feel like, I mean, it sounds like that was like a good experience doing it that way. Was there any times or moments where you like feel like because you had so much time on your hands that you like almost overproduce a record, or like you
No,
didn't know when to stop, or
not with this one. This is like the first song that I didn't have that feeling. During,
really?
yeah, because I worked on it like every like 3-4 months. So it's just like bits and pieces all the time. So I forgot the song in like 4 months. I started working on it again when I had a session with Kusharon, and then we made like the fifth version of it. And then Jimmy's producer was like, "Yeah, can I try something?" Like, "Yeah, sure." Sent it to him. Got another version a couple of months later, and then we finished it up. Then a couple of months later, so it went pretty natural actually because we focused. I think I had my focus on many other songs
Mm-hmm.
during this year, so this one wasn't really that much of stress for me and went pretty easy. Those some of the other songs I've been working on this year has been more stressful.
Really? Tell me about those songs. What songs were the ones that were more stressful for you?
I had a song, uh, for example, "Sweet Escape."
Okay.
The song I put out right before you and I.
Uh-huh.
That one is like 2 years old.
Really?
Yeah.
You just you just kept tinkering with it, or
No, the thing was like I was supposed to put it out like last year, but we started working on a GOL project, and then I hadn't talked to the producer for a long while, and he was pretty slow sending me the stems and finishing up the song. So I had to be like a little naggy bitch to the producer, like, "Come on, let's finish it, let's finish." She started ghosting me, and I started like calling him from different numbers, like, "Let's get it done, let's get it done." And then
That's funny.
when we got it done, like it took 2 years to put it out. So I think I just wasted a guy's time.
That's funny. Well, with the new song you have, you and I, you have Jimmy Somewhere on that song,
Yeah,
and you've worked with him in the past,
yeah,
correct?
I have
Yeah,
him on.
we've had him on our podcast before.
Oh, you have? Ah,
Yeah, he's a
sick.
cool guy.
Yeah.
How did you meet him, and how did you start working with him?
I met him in 2017. We were doing a showcase festival in Oslo called Bylarm.
Okay.
And me, Jimmy, and Wonder the Boy were performing the same day at the same venue. And we were,
Oh,
yeah. And we were doing like two shows that day, one for like under 18 and one over 18.
okay.
And Jimmy just started talking about my music because he had heard like some of my first stuff like back in 2013 I made before I started like getting noticed in Norway. So he had heard some of my songs earlier, and we just had a good time during those shows and just kept talking and had like some sessions here and there throughout the years. And like way before he got signed to Sony in the
Mm-hmm.
States or anything, he was like still living at home and driving like an hour to get to the studio here. And yeah, so I know him a good while now and always like loved his music and thought he had like a whole different, like a different style to him, different sound that didn't sound Norwegian at all.
Mm-hmm.
And early on I was like, this guy is like, I don't think Norway understands his music. And the good thing is that he knew it as well. So he just went to the States and got signed there and started popping off in the States. And then he got popular in Norway.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. Because I remember him saying that. Yeah, because he had a hit in the United States first, and then he came back, right?
yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. So the thing is like I think he's bigger around like the country more than he is in Norway.
Wow.
Yeah.
And he's from like Hoxton or
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hookson. Yeah.
Oxen, yeah.
Yeah. How
Which is
close is that to where you grew up?
it's not that far. It's like 30 minutes, 40 minutes.
Oh, wow, that's really
Yeah.
close. Yeah, that's really cool. What have you been working on now? I mean, you just released You and I. Do you have but you said that song's a little bit older. Is there stuff that you've been working on like more recently
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
coming out soon?
Yeah, I'm dropping my next single called Bad Trips in September. That one is more recently. That one I started working on like a couple of months ago.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to work on an album. Uh, Not that I'm trying, but I've been working on an album for like 2 years now. But I'm always going back and forth, and like throughout like 6 months, I make a bunch of songs, and I just like pick one of them. So I've just taken it pretty slowly this time during like, instead of like, for example, like when we made the GOL mixtape or an album, we took like a week to make that one.
Oh, wow. That's quick.
Yeah. We just went to like a cabin and banged out all the songs and came home. But this time I don't really have like, I'm not really like having like pressure of like putting it out on the putting out like in perfect timing. I'm just taking good time with this one and not stressing it all, because I don't really see the need of like putting out an album immediately.
Mm-hmm.
I just rather just like work on it and put out singles, and like when it's done basically.
Sure. There you go. And
Yeah.
and then obviously, hopefully, some of these shows that you had canceled, rescheduled, and everything will get back to
Yeah,
some sort of normal here pretty soon.
Crossing my fingers.
Yeah. Well, Pasha, thank you so much, man, for doing this. I appreciate it.
Of course. It was
I
a
have,
pleasure.
yeah, I have one more question for you.
Yeah.
I want to know if you have any advice for aspiring artists.
Just keep working. Just try to be productive and have a vision of what you want to do, instead of just like doing things all the time. Because if you do things without purpose, it doesn't really get you anywhere.
Bringing it backward.